Hey, what's up? So, this question is simple. It's how do we know that if we're on the right path? Because the journey is long and there are many twists and turns. And so sometimes it might feel like we're not going anywhere, or perhaps we're going backwards. Um, but yeah, like I said, sometimes it feels like progress is at a very slow crawl, or in some cases even stunted. And so how do we recognize when we are on the right path? And this is something that it's just something that I've been thinking about, and I do believe that the answer is that. So the answer is something along the lines of you don't, but those who are wise have faith that everything is as it needs to be, that everything is how it is for a reason. I mean, I could look at my own situation right now. I just moved into a new place here. I got a new room, nothing's set up, everything's a mess. It's been an ordeal. It's a lot of work getting reorganized and situated and stuff like that. So it's easy to say that things are say less than perfect, but they're also perfectly how they need to be. I mean, I'm going through a process right now where I'm figuring certain things out. I just came down with a cold. It lasted about 2 days. I fasted for one of those days to help my body through the process and whatnot. And it's been challenging, being bedridden and having to work every day. And luckily I don't work in a public environment, so it's not an issue for me. But I still have to perform, and when it was like my skin was sore, my muscles and my joints were sore, and I had a headache, and it was challenging. But I mean, the way to look at it is, what opportunity is this giving me to learn something about myself that I wouldn't otherwise have encountered had I not had things not panned out exactly the way that things are. So it's like things are kind of perfectly how they are. And I know that when I look back in my own life, I can certainly see how everything that I have involved myself in or gotten involved in has in some way contributed to where I'm at and what I'm doing and where I'm going. And so that really helps to, I don't know if the word is solidify, but sort of solidify the faith that I have that sort of no matter what I'm doing, it's almost like it's impossible to go wrong. And so, yeah, I guess, there are other, and so, but this is the thing. So then with this kind of an attitude of well, to not look at it, to not look at anything that is going on or anything that has happened in the negative sense, to not focus on what limitations it posed or how it made things difficult or challenging, but instead to focus on the growth that came from things and the opportunities that were presented as a result of the way that the cookie crumbled. And so for myself, because I am aware of some of this stuff, I make sure that I'm very clear with the narrative that I have going on up here and certainly coming out of here. Like, for instance, right now, I don't say the words, I'm sick, I feel terrible, this sucks, and sit there and feel sorry for myself and just be a downer about it all. I say, this is an experience, and I'm healthy, and I'm getting through this, and there are things that I will learn along this path, on this process, that are going to help me maybe right now and maybe sometime in the long run. And there have been things, because I am now recovering from this it's, I don't know, cold or flu or whatever, this sickness that's been going around. And I live in a house with a lot of people. There's other people that had it, so I got it, and I work with people that have it. It was kind of inevitable. Sort of like the COVID. I got that like a bunch of times, right? What was I saying? It's just that I feel like, that everything, I was lying in bed because I'm getting better, so I'm starting to wake up earlier. It gave my body a chance to rest as well, which is something I don't always give myself an opportunity to do. And also from food, from not eating, from fasting. I mean, it certainly, I can tell my body was, I don't know, it seemed to, like, I just wasn't hungry, so I didn't eat. I didn't force fasting. It was just something that made sense. And I've heard from people that that fasting is the quickest way to overcome injury and stuff. There's a lot of animals that do this. If they get hurt, they will just lie down and they will not do anything, and then the body will very quickly recover. But certainly not eating anything. It was challenging too, because when you're not eating, kind of not having a lot of energy, but just embracing the experience and whatnot, and then coming through it, and then like just starting to get back to things and having sort of insights and whatnot, and kind of going through the stuff that happened in the last few days and reflecting on it all. And it's been an experience that could only have happened in this way. And when I think about the things that I've been writing recently, I can see how it's going to contribute to a piece of work that I've been developing regarding the difference between sensitivity and fragility or volatility, because even though the two are similar, they're by no means identical. And so I don't want to go into it right now, but I just, and there are other things too. I noticed, because I have a positive attitude towards things, and I'm just kind of floating through my life right now and having to surrender to what is going on. We're in the middle of a winter blizzard storm right now here in Canada, and or in British Columbia, in lower British Columbia, like Chilliwack, which is not my favorite. It's very challenging, 10 below, and having to like go outside. I know for some people that's not a big deal, but for me it is. And I was just like getting over other challenges to do with like vitamin D and other deficiencies and things like that. It's just like one thing after the other, right? So it's like, it's been some challenging times, to say the least. But I think I've noticed that as I'm kind of just going through my life and just accepting, which is this whole thing, surrender is a language of the heart. And so is acceptance. It's the language of the heart. And just the humility that comes from being under the weather. It's just like you just have to deal with it, and hopefully like a champ, not like a victim or whatever. And so, and then I find that as I go through my days, there are little things, little synchronicities that jump out at me, and it's just like, oh, that's nice. You know, so like even though there's challenge, there's still little glimmers of you know, that silver lining of not of hope, but just like of joy. Little almost like little indications that are like, yeah, kind of just relax, and it's okay to stop and slow down. You know, and another thing too, it's sort of the last piece of this puzzle, is just that it has certainly been my experience in because life is a journey, and the journey is the destination, is what they say, and it can be challenging to figure out what is going on. But I have found that ever since I've embraced the way of the heart, since I started following my heart, I've never it's never led me astray. Yeah. I mean, I get the feeling like I've always been like this, though. So I can say that I kind of get the feeling that my whole life has been like that, in a sense. I've always been like that. I've never been really egotistical, self-serving. I've always sort of had the energy of a child. I mean, some people that I know describe me as that, as sort of like a big child, because I've just never lost my excitement or my curiosity or my joy. I've kind of always been there, despite, you know, everything that I've been through. Is one of the gifts that I have, is to be able. I remember when I was younger, I was learning about stuff and like occult stuff and magic and things like that, and to like walk this path, they're like, oh, you have to choose a name, a Latin name, and mine was Ego sum jaguar, which means I am the jaguar, because a jaguar is an animal that has the ability to go deep into darkness without getting lost, without losing itself, and can always find its way back out into the light. And so that really resonated with me, because I've always kind of felt like that. It's like when I reflect on everything that I've been through, it's just like, yeah, I'm still standing, you know, like that Elton John song. So yeah, I just I don't know, I felt compelled to make this video, because I know that it's frustrating, or it can be frustrating out there, you know, wondering if what we're doing is what it's adding up to, and if we're ever gonna get on top of things and like get ahead. I got so many things on the go right now. It's just like, and then I can see more things coming on, and it's like I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to take on less things. It's just kind of who I am and what I do, and at the end of the day, I wouldn't have it any other way. I guess just, yeah. Like, yeah, right now it's like piano lessons. I just got a big piano in my room, which is awesome. Yeah, and like writing a book, and like being a yoga teacher, and then going back and doing my 500 hour now, and it's like I haven't even completed my 200 hour, but I figure I will be. And yeah, it's funny, you know, we do our best. And you know, I think Alan Watts talked about that before, where it's like you just have to know that doing your best is enough, and that no matter what, that's sort of all that you're capable of. And yeah, so you just surrender to that and enjoy your life and don't stress about stuff. So my 2 cents anyways.